Welcome to Abilene Means Business here on Channel 2 Eagle Communications. I'm James Holland, the Executive Director of the Abilene Area Chamber of Commerce, and this is our monthly show where we talk to one of our business members here at the Chamber and get to know a little bit about their business, about doing business in Abilene, and those types of things. We never know where the conversation is going to lead, and that is particularly true today since my guest is Mrs. Sabrina Holland. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Yes, and this is my better half by far. Sabrina is the owner of SK Designs here in downtown Abilene. So we're going to visit a little bit with her. So let's talk a little bit about the business. I mean, how did you come to be in Abilene as a businesswoman here in Abilene?
Originally, I am from Abilene, so all of my family is here. And I decided to move back about 16 years ago and started renovating a house that I had purchased and got to know the Bowmans quite well. That would be Ralph and Mary. And they and I pursued and eventually came to a deal. And so now I have had the business for 14 years.
Yep. So the business was originally Bowman Carpet.
Yes.
And that was back in the 60s or 70s that started? When
Both.
Both?
Yes,
okay.
yeah.
Okay. And you came from where to come back here?
I originally had my business in Denver for about 14 years.
Yep. Yep.
Doing
And
interior
your
design.
credentials, how did you come to be an interior designer?
Mm-hmm. I graduated from the Colorado Art Institute in Denver and with my degree, and went to work right away for different stores, wallpaper stores, paint stores, furniture, window coverings, lighting. I got lots of wonderful experience with some wonderful companies in Denver, and decided to put it all together here.
So you kind of started at the ground floor. I mean, it was
Absolutely.
And at what point did you realize that interior design was something you really liked to do, or you just had a knack for it, or it was just a talent that you had? At what point did you kind of have that epiphany?
I probably started rearranging my mother's house when I was a child, but really thought that I would
That's
get...
obnoxious, I'm sure. That was probably...
The house got cleaner.
Oh, okay.
But I originally went to school for architecture, and at that time, this was before the CAD system, and so we just started. I couldn't sit at a desk all day long.
Sure.
I had to be with people and be out there working, and started working for different contractors, and then that led to the different shops I told you about, and here we are today.
Yep. And so you brought your talents here to Abilene. When did you buy Bowman Carpet?
I believe that it was 2000. I think it was in February 2002.
Okay.
Is when I purchased it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. And since that time, I mean, what have you done? I mean, was it prior to you? Was it just a carpet store, or were there other things? Because I know there's quite a bit of things going on here now, and so
Right.
kind of talk about the buying an existing business and then transforming it into your own.
We have done a ton, from refacing the front, redoing the complete interiors, and then bringing in many new lines. So Hunter Douglas window coverings is a huge part of our business. Annie Sloan's chalk paint, all aspects of flooring, not just carpet. We do hardwood floors and tiles, vinyls. Most recently, we have completed our upstairs for our paint studio, so I teach classes up there on different techniques. And then we do custom framing now. So there's a lot that I do, but it all pertains to the interiors.
Right, yeah, absolutely. And you have a showroom here that's got some accessories, not a whole lot, but certainly some things that have caught your eye that you think your clients might like. So,
Sure.
Yeah, so it's been kind of neat that I mean there are businesses that do change hands when somebody's ready to retire, and taking those businesses, you know, the person that purchases them has a passion and something that they really love to do and they're good at, and then growing it into their own is I mean, that's kind of how you have to survive. Otherwise, you know, it wouldn't last that long. So I think what you've done here is pretty awesome.
It's fun.
Yeah. And so tell me a little bit about you've got some installers, and tell us a little bit about them, the things that you can do in that, and then what type of projects do you work on?
Our installers, we have Gary Immig and then his partner Curtis McCoy are probably our main installers. But on the flip side, we have hardwood floor fellas, we have ceramic and porcelain tile installer, and then I have a team that does a lot of commercial work for us. So we run the gamut of very small residential to entire new homes, to remodels, to schools, banks, churches. We have done very little jobs to quite large ones. So yeah.
So would you say your client base? Kind of describe it. I mean, is it all local people, or how far do you have to draw in into the business to make it work?
I would say that we probably have a good 60, 65 mile radius around Abilene that we service daily, weekly, monthly. So I drive quite a bit.
Yeah, spend a lot of time in Manhattan, Salina,
Salina, Junction,
yeah.
Hope,
yeah,
Clay Center. We go everywhere.
Yep. Cool. So what do you think is one of the biggest challenges of having a business like yours that needs to draw from a large area to, I mean, fairly large area to keep it going? I mean, what are the biggest challenges in a small town, let's say?
Probably our biggest challenge is the internet and box stores as far as pricing goes, but we strive to have the best installers, the best customer service, and get the job done right the first time without any problems or second guessing. And that's where my background comes in with interior design. So I can make sure that those paint colors work with the tile, that works with the furniture, that works with the artwork that the customer may already have. So we feel like we have that edge that we can pull the full project together.
Yeah. And the one of the things that we've talked about big box stores versus operation like this, customer service is part of it, but there's some other things, right? There's warranty issues, that type of thing, or if there's damage. I mean, what in terms of those things, how does having a small business such as yourself instead of a big box, what's the advantage to the customer?
Well, they know it's a simple phone call and they're going to get a hold of me, and I can get a sales rep out there right away, or if it's an installation issue, we'll take care of it right now, today. Right. You're not waiting months out and looking at excuses.
Right. And so sometimes with the big boxes, maybe you get somebody who hasn't laid as much carpet. You don't know what the quality of the installer is. You don't know what the quality of the carpet is itself, and so. Right. So sometimes I'm sure you get calls from people that, I bought this carpet at Lowe's and got it installed, and I've got this problem or that problem. Right. And they just don't seem to be able to get any satisfaction from a big box. So right. So that's definitely, in my opinion, an advantage.
It's huge.
Of shopping locally with some of your and the personal touch, of course. So Abilene, you've been here, a businesswoman here for. Was it 14, 15 years now? Where do you see this? Do you see positive things happening
Absolutely.
in the city?
I think there's a lot of potential going on right now. We have some new restaurants coming into town. We have a lot of new building. There is some new residence houses being built. There's a new bank coming into town, or it's not a new bank, but it is a new building. So I think you can almost kind of feel a hum with Abilene. It's kind of exciting.
Yeah, well, and I think we kind of had these doldrums for the last few years. At least I think that's how everybody would describe it. And I think we're in the middle of harvest right now, and everybody believes it's going to be a pretty good harvest. And when you talk to real estate folks, I've talked to, this week, a couple of real estate folks, and then a title company, and everybody seems pretty upbeat and busy. Part of that's the time of the year, but those folks have been in it long enough to know when it's going to be a good year and when it's not. And so I definitely think there's definitely an upswing right now, and you're seeing it kind of all over the place. Talk a little bit about the harvest season. Like I say, it's on us, and you've been here long enough to see the ups and downs of it. How do you see harvest and agriculture affecting the rest of the businesses in the area?
Well, agriculture is probably one of the most important industries here in and around Abilene. And when all the elements are right, weather's good, crops are good, it trickles down. So when everything is up and high and prosperous, so is everybody else. I mean, we all see it. Those farmers are happy. They want to make their wives happy. They have a little bit of extra money to spend on the home, so they're willing to give their wife that new kitchen floor or redo the bathroom for her, and so it's all good.
Yeah.
Well,
very cool. Yeah. So, is there anything else you want to talk about Abilene and all that? It's kind of an open-ended question, but I think we've covered a lot of ground, at least about what SK Designs is about.
Sure.
I don't know if there's positive things. Yeah.
I think mainly I would, just as a little keynote here, is to encourage our younger generations, our juniors and seniors in high school, to think about trade schools. Me being in interior design, I work with electricians, I work with plumbers, and wonderful set of individuals, and Abilene is in great need of good quality tradesmen, and these are wonderful professions. You don't need a college degree for this, but it is something that you will always be in need of. We're going to be looking for new flooring installers, so those are things that need to be learned, and so I just want to encourage our younger generation to just ponder that thought a little bit and maybe think about those possibilities.
Yeah, and there's all kinds of things with interiors that you and I have talked about over the years, and I think the one that is kind of an interesting one is the upholstery. Having somebody that can really do good upholstery is hard to find, and you've got somebody that does that over in Salina, but he's getting a little long in the tooth, and who's gonna take over that shop? Who's gonna have the quality of work that he does? It's gonna be hard to find, hard to replace, and I don't know where you're gonna go for that type of thing when that happens. So
Right.
That's just one example, but it's good sage advice for kids out there who maybe don't want the college track, don't want the student loans that sometimes go with the college track, and it's kind of like you're talking about plumbing. I mean, running water is not going to go away anytime soon, I don't think. So it's definitely a good trade, and I think we've seen some new companies pop up with younger, very good tradesmen, and so that's another positive sign.
Right.
Although you could always use a few more, I think. So, yep. Okay.
Very good.
Yep. So anything else? I've said that 2 or 3 times now.
We're good.
Okay, we're good. All right. Well, I think, I don't know how much time we have left, but I just wanted to tell you a little bit about some things that are going on at the Chamber, and maybe Sabrina will have some thoughts on these things. But one of the things that since I've been in Abilene for probably 13 or 14 years, one of the things I kept hearing is that we need better customer service at the front end. We've always heard anecdotes about somebody from out of town going to a local store and the clerk saying, well, there's nothing to do here in Abilene, go to this town or that town. So the Chamber on August the 15th, we're going to have a customer service training. A professional customer service trainer from Wichita is going to be here. And for Chamber members, it's available. There's about 45 seats available total for the class. And so we'll be sharing that with the membership soon, and hopefully making those first impressions that our businesses make a little better, better informed, and get some referrals and people traveling amongst businesses here. We are kind of hitting a traveling season with summer being here, and so there's a lot of visitors coming to Abilene for various reasons, and I think it's something we hope to make an annual event. So if you're watching this, you're a chamber member, give me a call, and we can talk about that. Is that something you've seen here? Does that concur with you that you think that there's a need for that in Abilene? Maybe not in your store, but
right.
Yeah.
But I have seen that. I think that when you're out and about, whether it be local restaurants or other small shops that we have here in town, that to encourage to go around and see some of our other shops that we have, or visit other restaurants, check out the Eisenhower Center and those facilities down there, down south. But there's lots to do here in Abilene. Every night we could be busy doing something.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and part of this customer service training is we're going to take the trolley during the lunch hour, and we're going to go have Michael Hook at the CVB kind of talk about some of the things that are here in town from a historic perspective, but also here's the businesses, here's things that are going on. Once again, to kind of get some of our frontline employees familiar enough with the community to say, oh, well, yeah, there is this to do and that to do and those types of things. So yeah, it's not just classroom time what we're looking at, but it's going to be a little more than that, and we expect that it'll be beneficial for everybody. So, but downtown, talk a little bit about the. You've seen some of the specialty shops kind of come and go. You think we got a really good mix right now of those? I know there's always room for improvement, I suppose, but.
I do. I think we do. I think we have a wonderful art community with custom jewelry, accents. Cyprus Bridge carries some different and custom things for interiors. There's so much.
Yeah.
I guess I'm most excited about the new restaurants.
Oh, are you? You're a foodie, are you?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Well, and I, of course, the antiques are a big part of Abilene,
Absolutely.
and with your job with interiors, I know there's sometimes you shop amongst the locals to find just that right piece,
All the time.
So that's really good. And across the store, you have a display, right?
We do. We have a booth set up at Mud Creek Antiques to show some of the painted furniture pieces that we carry or have and have painted in different classes that I teach.
Yeah. Yeah, and on the paint, that's one of the newest lines, right? Is
True.
The newest things you brought in. The custom framing, of course, was here before, but now you're putting the equipment to better use, maybe. But tell us a little bit about the Annie Sloan chalk paint and the classes and that type of thing.
Annie Sloan is an artist based out of England, and she actually came up with this formula of chalk paint about 25 years ago. And it is only new to the U.S. now for about 5 years. And the whole premise on it was that it's a decorative paint that can be applied to a piece of furniture, walls, really anything with very little prepping. So you don't have to sand, you don't have to prime. She calls it chalk paint because of the chalky, velvety finish, not because it contains chalk. All paints have chalk in it as a filler. But it's if you've ever done any kind of decorative painting, it's very easy to work. It's very easy to blend and create some really fun finishes very easily.
Yep.
So.
And you
Yep.
teach classes on different techniques and all
I do.
those
They're
sort of
about
things. Yeah.
2.5, 3 hours long, and we have a lot of fun with those.
Yep. And they leave with a cadre of goodies to help them do projects at home
We
to
work
start
on
with.
about 7 different techniques, and so you use the paints and the brushes, and you take home all those samples, and everything's printed out on the how-tos just in case you forget when you're at home. And
Okay, last question.
Yes,
So
yes.
what's the next thing you're going to try to squeeze into this building?
it's a secret.
It's a big secret, huh?
It's a secret.
You really don't have anything, do you?
I'm not telling you.
Okay. Well, if she won't tell me, she's not going to tell anybody. So, all right. Well, Sabrina, thank you. Thank you very much. Once again, this is Sabrina Holland here at SK Designs. Thank you. And this is Abilene Means Business here on Eagle Communications Channel 2. It's kind of hot outside. Stay hydrated, people. Enjoy the harvest, and we will see you next month.